Okay, taking our notes from last time, 7.5 day 1, properties of logs, where we talked about expanding and now taking those and going the other direction. So now instead of expanding, we're going to be condensing, but it's same properties, still dealing with logs, except now we're going the other direction. So hopefully this should be pretty quick and easy. 7.5 day 2. Now, going over our properties, these are the exact same properties that we talked about the other day, except now we're going backwards. Okay, those of you who've missed my weird squigglies, there they are, they're back. Okay, so now we're going backwards. What did we say about the product property? If it was multiplication, it was actually what? When you expanded them, it was addition. When it was quotient, when it was division, when you expanded them, it was subtraction. When it was a power, we brought it to the front and turned it into multiplication. Well, these are the exact same properties, except now we're going the other direction. Now we're going to be condensing. So when you see them, they're the other direction. So now I have an addition, and I want to be bringing these together. So since this is addition, when I bring them together, I'm going to bring them together as multiplication. Same thing. I'm going to be condensing. So when I see this one, I've got two things here, two logs with a subtraction sign in between. So when I condense them, that subtraction sign means division. Last one, I see multiplication. I see this n out front. So when I see that n out front, I know that means it's actually a power of n. Okay, so recognizing and going the other direction today. So condense the following expressions. First one, I've got 2 times log base 3 of 7 minus 5 times log base 3 of x. Okay, first thing, think about our powers again. Powers are going to have to be the first thing we deal with on condensing because we have to make sure and define where they go. This 2 belongs with this 7, and this 5 belongs with this x. They don't belong with anything else. So I have to make sure and do that first to make sure and define where those powers belong. Otherwise, they're not going to be on the correct base. Okay, so that's the first thing that I have to do. Okay, well, what's that going to give me? That's going to turn into log base 3 of 7 squared minus log base 3 of x to the 5th. Okay, well, 7 squared, I'm just going to cross it off right below it. I'm going to write 49. So I have log base 3 of 49 minus log base 3 of x to the 5th. My whole job in condensing is to get down to 1 log. I need to condense everything, so all I have is 1 log when I get done. Okay, well, my next step is going to be it. I've got 2 logs here. I need to bring them into 1 log. Currently, there's a subtraction sign in between these. So what am I going to do with these two since it's a subtraction sign? Well, since it's subtraction, that means when I condense them, it's going to turn into division. And what's going to go on top? Log base 3 of 49 minus, so that minus is why it's division. So this log base 3 of x to the 5th belongs on the bottom. Okay, so again, the whole point of condensing is to get down to 1 log, which we did in this question. Log base 3 of 49 over x to the 5th. Okay, the next one. Are there any numbers in front which represent our powers? There's nothing in front here. Okay, so I don't have any powers to deal with. So all I have is this subtraction sign. Well, what did we just say a second ago? That subtraction sign means division. So I've got what over what? 20 on top. Minus 4, so I need to be dividing by 4. And last step, if you can always simplify, keep going. So I can simplify 20 over 4 is 5. So natural log of 5 is your answer. And again, in that question, I didn't have a log, but I had a natural log. So getting down to 1 natural log was the key. Now, the next one, always, first thing, look at those powers. No power here, power of 3, no power here. So first thing is to pull up this power of 3. Again, whole point of that is so we correctly identify what the powers belong to. This power of 3 only goes with the 3. It has nothing to do with the 2, and it has nothing to do with the 9. So I got to make sure and identify where it belongs first, and then I can start combining stuff. But make sure and identify where those powers go. So I have log of 2 plus log of 3 cubed minus log of 9. Okay, well again, to save space, I'm just going to cross this off, write it right below it. 3 cubed is 3 times 3, which is 9, times 3 is 27. Okay, now let's combine. These first two are additions, so when I combine these, it's going to turn into what? Addition, bringing them together, turns into multiplication. So this is going to be 2 times 27. Now, if I want to combine in this second one, it's subtraction. So how am I going to combine these two logs down to 1? I have 2 times 27 minus log of 9. Well, subtraction, again, combining these together, subtraction tells me division. So I have 2 times 27, which is 54. Log of 9 is what I'm subtracting, so that's what I'm dividing by. I'm dividing by 9. And again, if you can simplify, make sure you keep simplifying. So this is log of 54 divided by 9 is 6. Condensing, getting all the way down to the point we have 1 log. So log of 6 is our answer. Okay, the next one. Key thing here, this is a power. Okay, but what do we say about powers? We want to make sure we know where it belongs. Okay, so here's a 2. This is also a power. This 2 belongs on that 1/2 and only on that 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write it up there. The next one, this 3 belongs to the parentheses. So it belongs to everything inside here. Okay, but the key is, what do you always deal with first? You always deal with the parentheses. So I'm not going to put that 3 up there until after I figured out what these parentheses equal. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to do before I put that 3 on top. Okay, so I've got log base 7. And since this is a subtraction sign, subtraction means division. So 18 divided by 9. So what do I have in my parentheses here? 3 still goes there. So what do I have? I have log base 7 of 2. Now, what does this 3 belong? It belongs up here, right? So this is log base 7 of 2 cubed. So that 3 belongs on the 2. That's my parentheses. So simplified my parentheses. Now what do I have over here? Plus log base 7 of 1/2 squared. Okay, let's go ahead and take care of those powers before we combine anything. So I have log base 7, 2 cubed is 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8, plus log base 7, 1/2 squared. Again, don't let fractions scare you. You got power on the outside, so you square them both. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. Now let's combine these. Again, whole point of condensing is getting to where we only have 1 log. So log base 7. Since this is addition right here, how am I going to combine the 8 and the 1/4? Since it's addition, that needs to turn into multiplication. So 8 times 1/4. So log base 7 of 8 times 1/4 is log base 7. 8 times 1/4 is 2. Log base 7 of 2. So that's our condensing. Now, one more key concept. We've talked about change of base formulas. Okay, we talked about this in a sense of graphing, but we haven't talked about this in a sense of evaluating. Okay, so evaluating means getting answers. It's the same concept as what we did in graphing, but now we're going to use it to actually type it in. Okay, and again, the key is this is not a 10 or an E, because if it's a 10 or an E, if it's a 10, you're just using that log button. If it's an E, you're using the ln button. But if it's not a 10 or an E, you have to do the change of base. The log of U has to go on top. The log of C has to go on bottom. Okay, you have to do the change of base. So when I give you these two examples, use the change of base formula to evaluate the expression. You cannot just type in log of 4, and then a lot of you would probably do parentheses 8. This is log of 32. That's not what you have. Okay, if this is not a 10, you have to do change of base to type it in your calculator. That's the only way your calculator knows what this number is by you doing the change of base. Okay, otherwise your calculator assumes it's a 10. So to type this in, I have to do change of base. So I got to have a log of something over log of something. Okay, well, which one of those is going to go on top? Log of 8 divided by log of 4. Okay, well, if you haven't yet, type it in. Log of 8. Now you can just use that log button since you did the change of base. So log of 8 divided by log of 4. And again, this is how the calculator knows you've got a base of 4. And you should get 1.5. Okay, last one. I got a 6 down here, so how do I tell the calculator that's a 6? Well, to tell the calculator that's a 6, I have to do change of base. So what's going to go on top? Log of 15 divided by log of 6. I get 1.511. Okay, key concept for graphing. You had to do this with graphing, and now a key concept for evaluating. If that base is not a 10, you have to change it. You've got to do change of base. Okay, do not forget that. That's going to tie all the way from graphing all the way to the end of this chapter. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the notes today. A little bit shorter, sweeter, easier than before. Okay, here's your homework for those of you, again, who are gone. Enjoy the easy day. Enjoy the easy homework. We'll see you next time.